Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick warm-up with you to review some of the concepts that we learned yesterday around lipids. So you'll remember that lipids describe a certain class of macromolecules and they have very specific characteristics. Alright, so what I want you to do is I want you to pause this video, but pause it in a way so that you're able to see this structural diagram here. And I want you to take the time on your whiteboards to tell me what the heck I'm looking at, the name. I want you to tell me what are the parts that make up this molecule, right? And there are two different types of molecules that make it up. What functional groups are going to help me to identify the molecule that you're seeing. Okay, and how would you describe the polarity of this molecule and why? What type of linkage am I seeing? Well, which linkage am I talking about? I'm talking about this one right in here. It has a specific name. And I want you to use your judgment to tell me whether you think that this would be an oil or a fat. In other words, would this be a solid or a liquid at room temperature? Using your best judgment. All right, so let's check in. When I look at this, I can tell right off the bat that it is a triglyceride. It's a triglyceride, and how I know that is because I can see right here, I can see this glycerol molecule, and I can also see 1, 2, 3 fatty acids, hence the name triglyceride, right? So in terms of functional groups, well, I can see that there's this carboxyl group that joined a hydroxyl group. So beforehand, these were hydroxyl groups and a carboxyl group that were, particular concern. I also know that now that they're joined, the linkage is a little bit different. The linkage is now, this link right here is an ester link. Hopefully you were able to get that. That's a tricky one. And, even though this molecule has some oxygens in it, that does give it a little bit of polarity. However, look at this long chain of hydrocarbons, of carbon atoms with hydrogens. All of those, if you were to look at dipole vectors, the dipole vectors would cancel, and this would overpower the polarity of this and kind of make those polar oxygens kind of have minimal effect. So overall, this molecule would be non-polar rather, which would make it not able to dissolve in water or any other polar molecule. Okay, linkage, we talked about oil or fat. Okay, so oil or fat, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the carbon-carbon bonds in the fatty acids, and they all are single bonds. So that's what's going to tell me that this is saturated. This is a saturated fat, and saturated fats are solid at room temperature. Why is that? Well, these fatty acids here are all able to get really close together, and so the van der Waals forces, the forces of attraction between them, are going to be extra strong. It's going to pull all these molecules close together and increase the density of that molecule. Hopefully you did okay. Let me know on the Google Classroom post. Just want to get a sense of things.